Previously on Cats on Guard.
He is doing the walk around with bagpipes, like
What?
like bagpipes, like Scotland the Brave bagpipes.
All I kept hearing from this, I flew 23 years on my last airplane. 23 years. 23 years. 23. I just kept hearing, he just kept 23 years. Okay. I did one leg with the dude. He was unstable twice.
I just was embarrassed to be next to him in the same uniform.
Jeez.
And the flight attendant showed me pictures of her family. She has a picture of her mom up there, and this guy pokes his head over our shoulder and goes, "Is that your mom?"
Oh,
I
no.
do her.
I was standing around one year during recurrent training. During a break, there was like 5 or 6 guys over there swapping DUI stories.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my God. And they all had one. And I was just standing off this side, and one of them caught the look on my eye. And he goes, "Oh, you wait. It'll happen to you."
You ever call off sick to avoid somebody? I have. I don't know, an hour into this thing, I have had it. And I started premeditating my excuse.
Yeah.
And now I'm plotting how to get away from this guy.
Oh, jeez.
What's a reasonable enough illness where, like, I'm not going to get investigated, but the radio and they get another pilot to come in. And as I'm walking out of the building, sick, I see the other guy coming in, and he's like, "Oh, you feeling all right, dude?" I'm like, "I am fine. I just had to get the hell away from that guy."
And now more of the worst pilots.
So here's this one guy. This guy, nothing's ever good enough for you. This is a guy that I've had like a rivalry with for like a bulk of my career.
A pilot rivalry.
Even though he was someone I should be looking up to, it didn't make any sense. So this guy was an instructor, a check airman, a senior captain, someone, should be well respected, but nobody respected this guy. Nobody liked him. And through my years and talking to people at other companies he's worked at, he's like industry famous in the cargo world.
Really?
Yeah. So "Oh, you flew with that guy?" "Oh." And I'm like, "I know." "Oh." Right?
Yeah.
So, when it came time for me to transition to become a captain, so I became a captain really close to my 23rd birthday, which is like the youngest you can be at the airlines. And
you're incredible.
Oh, I know, right? Pat myself on the back.
This guy should have been looking up to you.
I know. Well, that was the thing. I almost think it was jealousy, because he grounded out a lot of years to get where he got, and I was getting there so quick.
And you probably had a big head on yourself, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I'd been doing that for, let's see, by the time I was 23, I had been flying at that company for 4 years already.
Okay.
So, but it was like, hey, you got to tell the bosses, like, hey, it's time for it. You get small companies, everyone knows everybody. This guy, yeah, he's good to go. Let's make him a captain, or, let's next time we have a captain spot. But nope, never a good word from this guy. He's not ready, and it's not there. I wouldn't do that yet. And any of the reasons to make sure I did not progress through my career time at this company. So this
That's
guy,
a shame.
I know, it really is. And honestly, he didn't have any legs to stand on, because he was so terrible at following SOPs or flying within safe standards and making safe decisions. And he did none of the above.
Jeez.
And I try to pride myself on being that upstanding person to try and prove that I was ready to be a captain at such a young age. And this guy, I tell you, we got into it one day real good. There was something broken in the airplane, like it was a big deal. And in the previous, the way things used to go is like the captain was the only one that could like report things back to the company. The captain signs the aircraft's logbook.
Yeah.
And the captain does the maintenance logs. And then that's since changed. Anybody can report anything now. Aviation is so much safer than it was years ago. And this was the captain rules machine. Now, folks at home, CRM, we've said it a few times in different episodes, of crew resource management, the way you work as a team to get the job done safely, right? The old adage, and the way we kind of make fun of the old school version, captain rules machine. That's what CRM used to mean, or captain rules machine. Captain
If
can I?
only. If
Yeah.
only we still lived in those days.
So Mr. No CRM, we get into this argument about an anti-ice valve being inoperative. We're not going to get adequate anti-ice protection on the aircraft, and we got to have the mechanics fix this. There's no way the next crew is going to accept this. No, they'll be fine. No, I don't think they will. I think that this needs to get fixed before this plane goes out again. So, nope, it's fine. So we get up to the dispatch desk, and this is where we turn in our paperwork and start our rest time, and then we go home and go to sleep. So we're at the counter, and they go, "Hey, is the plane good?" And he goes, "Yeah, it's good." And I go, "No, it's not." And I said, "Listen, this is broken." And he goes, "No, it's fine. It's fine. There's nothing wrong." And I looked at the dispatcher again. I said, "No, it's broken." And they said, "Well, captain says it's good." And so they're gonna close out the books and get the airplane back in service for another trip. And I had this, I'm gonna be a captain soon. I got to make the right call here. What does a safe pilot do? I let him
Yeah.
walk out of the office, and I went back up there and I said, "No, it's not. Give me that book back." And I put the maintenance entry in the book, even though I'm
Oh,
not
you
supposed to.
little
I
scamp.
need this documented, and they let me do it. And I got called in the boss's office later for it. I crossed his name out of the pilot and command section where you're supposed to sign as pilot and command.
Oh,
And I signed my name below it in like a gray area that wasn't actually the signature line.
this sounds like
Yeah,
a gray area.
it is a gray area, right? So I go home, everybody goes to sleep. I get a call from the boss, his boss the next day, like way up the chain, actually the director of operations. Pretty high up
Jeez.
the chain there.
That's
And
not a guy that is supposed to know your name.
no, not in most of your lives. So I get called in for what do they call that? The carpet dance.
Yes.
You gotta prove your
Yes.
point. He wanted to throw me under the bus. On paper, I hijacked that aircraft.
You sure did.
As far as
Holy
the
cow.
FAA is concerned, I hijacked that aircraft. So
Why?
I didn't though. I didn't. I went to the regulation book, the Federal
Mhm.
Aviation Regulations, and I cited the passage where it states that the second in command, in the event the pilot in command is unable to perform his or her duties as pilot in command, the SIC, the second in command, will assume the roles and duties of the pilot in command.
You 25th amended him. Minted
I
him.
did. I read it right
Yeah.
to the director of operations of the airline. That's like the level below the CEO
Yeah.
for the airline. And I said, I followed this rule to the T, sir.
Uh huh. And
Oh,
was he just
that
steaming
did
mad?
not, yes, steaming out the ears, the
Oh,
veins in the
yeah.
forehead were coming out. I, I did something I shouldn't have done in the interest of safety for the aircraft,
Oh,
but I did it technically legally under the knowledge
sure.
that I was doing the role that the other guy failed to perform.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that
you
did
know
not go
what?
over well. Oh,
You you did the right thing, and sometimes the right thing is not the easy thing.
it's not always
And
well received, right? But
no, it's not. And for dumb reasons at times. But
yeah, I'm
I applaud you. I I say, you know what? I'm not the only one here, and I'm not perfect, so I'm gonna screw up. Call me out when I do. That's what
I
I
don't
say.
I don't know. I flew a bunch of days of the year and had nothing to call you out on. You're perfect.
No, well, I was then, but we can't do it all. We can't do it all. There are people that think they can, though.
So listen to this. This speaks to this guy's character. So we have this big blow up. I do my carpet dance. He goes in there. Go, this guy's full of this guy. He can't fly. He should never be a captain. This is unacceptable behavior. Blah blah. Anything that in my little rivalry, I look at it as anything to keep me down. Right. So I try to extend an olive branch. I have to fly another trip with the guy. We fly a lot of trips together. It was a small flight
Yeah.
department. So he's doing the paperwork to close out the plane. It's snowing out. I go out to the parking lot. Everyone knows what cars he drives. I go to his car. I lift the wipers up. I clean the snow off his car.
Oh, what an angel.
Then I clear the snow off of my car. I'm warming it up. I head back inside. Paperwork's getting wrapped up. We, quick little, okay, what time are we back on call again? We go out there together. Everyone else's car in the parking lot is covered in snow, except his and mine. It is
Yeah.
blatantly clear. I'm not going to go, hey, look, I cleared your car off. But
Hmm.
blatantly obvious that I have cleared his car off. Freshly footsteps in the snow. The only footsteps out there, right? My car, his car, both cleared
Yeah.
off. Not a word.
Because you're a little
Not a
kiss ass
nod.
now, and nobody likes a kiss ass.
What do you mean nobody likes to kiss ass?
Nobody likes a kiss ass. You know what you're up to.
Yeah. How about a
Try to get
thanks
on.
or hey, did you do this?
No, this guy doesn't have that in him.
No, it was my honor apparently to clean off his car for him.
Yeah, it was your honor.
Oh, drove me. I went home. Oh, I didn't say a word, but I could. Oh man, I could have put that snow right back on there with a shovel. I would have loved to do that.
All right. You're putting me into a place right now where I have been, and you're taking me back, and I've got a very, very similar story, sort of. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's what
Is
we're here
yours
for, right?
done? I don't want to steal your thunder. Is your story
No,
over?
no, it's
It's
yeah. There's so many more with this guy, but let's wrap that one up for now.
all right. So I was flying a trip with a guy who was going on vacation on the last day of our trip. He was a great guy. This is back in my regional days. I was the FO. And so captain leaves. All we've got left is one round trip there and back, and then we're done. But they got to replace him because he's going on vacation that day. So I see the name on the paperwork when I get it. Guy I had flown with one time before who was just awful. Kind of guy that he was brand new upgrade. He was new to the airplane. He didn't really understand the airplane yet. And so we're going to fly with him. And the one time I had flown with him before, we were taking off and there was a crossing restriction on a departure procedure, which meant you got to be at a certain altitude, a certain spot. And to get there, it requires us to climb pretty steep. And I was flying that leg, and I remember I flew pretty steep to make this crossing restriction. And we have a thing in the aircraft called a flight director, which is basically a little directional device, kind of looks like an airplane on your display in front of you, and it moves. The computer moves it, and you're supposed to follow it, and it tells you basically how to fly. And to make this crossing restriction, I was climbing steeper than it wanted me to. Nothing wrong with that, just steeper than the airplane had calculated. This guy jumped all over him. Whoa, you gotta follow that command bar. That's there for a reason, you know. You gotta make everybody go weightless in the back of the airplane when you level off, you know. So that being my only other experience with this cat, I'm waiting for him to show up. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. He's not there. And, you know, the bags were all loaded, passengers were in place, and he finally comes running down, running. He's got these dumb white sunglasses that he wears on his forehead, not on his top of his head, but on his forehead, not in his eyes, not on his hair, on his forehead. And he looked like such an idiot with these bright white things on his face. And he comes huffing down. And he goes, "Sorry, I was sitting at the wrong gate." Okay, great. Well, we're all ready to go. Everybody's on board, and we got a lot of bags. We're heavy in the back. Oh, well, I better go check that out.
Yeah.
So he gets out and he goes back there. Now, I said to him, "Well, when you go back there, just remind the bag loaders that we're over. You know, this airplane we were flying had a weight restriction that above a certain weight, you had to put a cargo net in place to make sure nothing shifted around."
Yeah.
I said, "Remind them about the net." He goes, "What are you talking about?"
Oh no.
I said, "You know, the weight restriction, the limitation, Captain, on the airplane. That I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh, really?
So he comes back and he goes, "Oh, everything's fine. Don't have a problem with the bags anymore." I'm just like, okay, I don't know. Okay, whatever. So we fly. And he's got to fly. Now, one of the screens in the flight deck is broken, and it's on my side of the airplane, which means he has to do all the flying. So we fly up to where we were going, and we land. And he's flying. Now, remember, this is the guy that insists that I follow those command bars because that's how you do it. Well, he's doing this approach, and he decides he's going to turn off his autopilot. He's going to turn off his flight director. So command bar's now gone. He's 20 knots fast on the approach. He's 2 dots below the glide slope, which is the thing that helps us, you know, find the runway. And we'll talk about that in another day. But basically, he's coming in fast, low, and completely unprofessional.
Unguided.
Right. And every alarm in every warning bell is going off in the airplane
Oh,
at this
no.
point. So we land and we're rolling out the runway, and he begins to make the turn onto the taxiway, and I reach for the flap handle to bring the flaps up. He goes, "Whoa! You don't touch that till I cross the hold short bars." Well, I'm just a stickler for doing things by the book.
Oh. Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know which book he's been reading, but okay, so whatever.
Did you read off any to him or no?
No, not yet. There's more to come. So we do a turn up there, and again, we're heavy. Got the same issue with the bags. He goes in the back, does his same magic trick that he did the first time, and we take off again. And again, he's still flying because I still have that broken screen. And we're coming back to the airport for the last leg of this trip, and it's big bad thunderstorm. Summer thunderstorms in the south, and we got to divert. We can't land there, so we're going to go land somewhere else, and we're going to divert to Charlotte, North Carolina, instead of Atlanta, where we were going. And this is when the freak out starts. The meltdown begins. So, I've never diverted before. I'm not sure. I've never diverted before. I'm not sure what to do. I said, it's actually quite simple. We were going to land in Atlanta. Now we're going to go land in Charlotte. It really is that simple. So we land in Charlotte, and everybody and their mother is diverted to Charlotte. We were lucky to get a gate is what happened. And we were going to be there for hours because nobody's getting back to Atlanta. It was just socked in, bad day. So all the passengers get off the airplane, and we're just sitting there kind of waiting for the captain to kind of do his captain thing, like contact the company, find out what the plan is for us. Well, here's the thing. He's a reserve pilot on day 1 of 6, and he commutes. So him getting back to base is the last thing he cares about, because that means he doesn't have to go to his crash pad. He gets a hotel room paid for, whatever. Me and the flight attendant, and there was only the 2 of us, are at the end of our day, at the end of our trip. We want to go home.
Yeah.
So he makes his one obligatory call to the company, who is in the middle of this meltdown because of all this weather, and we'll get back to you. Right. So nothing. He just sits there. So a while goes by. So I decide I'm going to call the company.
Oh.
And then the flight attendant, she calls the company. And he is just steaming mad now. We're sitting there for a while. And he finally turns to me and he goes, I don't know if it's my management style or if it's the FOs I fly with, but you're not the first one to go over my head, and you become the point man. Yeah, because they called me back. They didn't call him back. They called me back. He goes, you become the point man for the company, and now you've usurped my authority, and I don't know if I should change the way I do things, or maybe I just need to come over there and smack you.
Oh, please.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was kind of like, I'm not a confrontational person. I get along. I love everybody. You know that. And I was really quite taken aback that a grown-ass man would confront me in such a way. Now, secretly hoping, please do hit me, because I wasn't going to fight. I wasn't going to fight the man.
Straight to the company.
Straight to the cops is what I was going to do.
Oh, that would be even more fun.
That's assaulting a crew member. Yeah. Oh, they ended up canceling our flight, and they were going to take all of our passengers and move them to a mainline airline. So the big, real jets.
Yeah.
So he decides at this moment that we should be helpful, because all of our passengers left their carry-on bags on the airplane. Let's grab their carry-ons and bring them over to the plane next door. So he gets an armload of bags and he's walking up the jetway with them. And the gate agent is coming down the jetway, sees him carrying all this bags. And he says, what the hell are you doing with checked luggage in your hands? So for the passengers, for the listener, checked luggage is the stuff that goes in the cargo bin underneath. You claim it at baggage claim when the flight is done. Carry-on bag is the stuff that you bring and put in the overhead bins. There was a little loophole on these little jets that I used to fly. carry-on baggage did not count against weight for the takeoff numbers. So these little planes that were always overweight because they were just tiny, you could throw every carry-on bag in the world on that airplane and it added up to 0 on paper in terms of weight. So I learned what he did. This magic of the overweight cargo bins. He just grabbed a bunch of checked baggage that hadn't been security screened and threw them in the overhead bins to reduce the weight in the back of the airplane. Major security violation, right?
Wow.
And he got caught.
That day.
He got caught by that gate agent as he
No.
was walking up the jet bridge with these carry-on bags in his hand.
Yep.
And he, this is when he just kind of leaned against the wall and slumped down onto the floor. And he goes, we better get our stories straight.
What story? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I said, you better come up with a good one because if they hear it from me, you're not going to like what I say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mr. Flap you. Oh my.
I went, oh man. So we ended up flying another trip and we had a different airplane and I was going to fly this one. And I was like, I got to do the best flight ever. Because first of all, he's a terrible pilot.
You don't want to give him any dirt.
In addition to being one of the worst people I have ever met, he was a terrible pilot. And I had a speech prepared that was all predicated on me executing the most beautiful flight that has ever been done. And I did. And I was just about to go off on him when this is the next day. And he goes, I just have to say, I'm so sorry. I spoke to my father last night and he told me how wrong I was. And I just want to humbly apologize. And you're such a good pilot. And you've just, I was like, God damn it. You're still a goddamn freaking thing.
Hey, you're not supposed to swear. Your mother's listening.
My mother-in-law is going to have my, yeah. So I told him anyway, but yeah. Worst pilot I ever saw.
I don't think that apology is genuine. I think that's just something to clear him of thinking that you're going to turn him in.
Well, I told him, I said, I'm giving you 24 hours to call the chief pilot's office and tell him about this checked baggage thing because you don't want them hearing from me.
That's awesome.
I never saw the guy again.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's good.
Yep.
So I never seen this guy again. I flew with a guy who got us kicked out of many hotels as an airline. He got us kicked out. Yeah, he got us rejected from restaurants. I think we're trending toward a lot of like older dogs that can't learn new tricks. Right? Does that sound pretty? Most of these stories seem to be older folks, and toward the end of their career.
I'm afraid I'm becoming one.
I hope. Yeah, I know. I always wonder when I'm that person. Like, when am I going to be that dude that can't, the old dog that can't learn new tricks? Back in my day, we used to do it uphill both ways.
Dude, I just got off a trip where the guy on day 2, he said, "You're going to do another back in my day?"
You don't seem like that guy, but we do have enough years where we do have those. Like, it's a generational thing. It's like, if you've flown prior to 2010. It's a different aviation.
Right. And this guy was like 40. It's not like this guy was a kid.
No, but you have an extensive career to reference backwards back in my day. Yeah. So this dude that gets kicked out of everything, he was the cheapest person you've ever met. I mean, just absolute cheapskate. This guy would go down to hotel breakfast, which you love.
I do.
And he would hoard.
When it's free.
He would hoard.
Okay.
Like you'd eat one yogurt
like
and take 3 back to the room. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have 1 banana and take the rest of the bunch back to your room.
Well, I've never taken the whole bunch, but I may have stockpiled a little bit.
I take a snack back to the room. Yes. But so what happened was they were doing these regular runs where we'd stay in a room for like 10 days at a time, even though you go out flying, come right back. So the company would book us a stretch of rooms, and the housekeeping was starting to find like wasted food in the room.
No.
Like 3 yogurts, but like 1 eaten and 2 room temp on the counter just that went bad.
God. And he's living in there with it.
Yeah, but just put it in the fridge then, right? Like, actually eat it. Yeah. Don't mistreat it. It's just wasteful.
It is wasteful.
This guy took a crew out. I wasn't on the crew, but I know because I was friends with the guy who was on the crew, to a restaurant where he had these coupons. And it was supposed to be like, I don't know, $10 off your bill or whatever. But it didn't say limit 1 per table on it. So I know. And he had like this wad of coupons he collected, and he told the whole crew, "I'm taking you all out for dinner." And they're like, "Wow,
Okay.
the
Wow,
cheapskate's
what a
taking us
generous
out for
guy.
dinner. This is a rare opportunity." Sure enough, they all eat. Nobody orders anything lavish, but they all eat. And then it gets really awkward because he hands the waiter
5 coupons or something.
Yeah. And the guy's like, "No, we can only take one of these and you're on the hook for the rest of the bill." And everyone's looking around, right? Like, all right, well, you are taking us out for, well, he was only taking you out for
Yeah,
dinner on the basis he wasn't paying for it.
right.
And then it came time for him to pay for it. And he literally made everyone pay for their meal, though. Like,
Oh, no.
yeah, after
Ow.
telling everybody because they wouldn't take any more than one of the
Oh, my
coupons.
God.
So that
What a
the 5 people that were eating with the one $10 off coupon, everyone saved $2 on their bill.
oh, that's
Ew.
tip money.
Oh, yay. No, it's a fraction of tip money. Even at a Logan Steakhouse, it's like, geez.
No, I meant for the van driver.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Hey, I take twos. I do $2. Oh, yeah, I think we
Are
talked
you
about
a
that.
$2
I'm a
tip guy?
$2 tipper.
$2
Yeah.
bill? I've flown with
$2
you
bill.
guys. I've
Yeah.
flown with you. I had side bet here. Aside. I had a $2 bill guy give the van driver a $2 bill. I had a 5. I'm not tipping $5.
You traded it.
I asked for, well, these, you $2 bill guys, you do it because you think that the van drivers love the $2 bills. Oh, I give them a $2 bill. If their face lights up at the $2. So I asked the guy for change for my 5, and he gave me the $2 bill back. So
Oh.
he didn't care.
Well, some people give it to their kids as something different they haven't seen or.
Oh, I've been collecting them my whole life. Now I have kids and they take them, and my collection is down to nothing.
See, kids love the
Because it's a
$2
rarity.
bills.
It's a rarity. Yeah.
Yeah, and the van drivers give them to their kids. See, that's what I'm talking about.
And
Wow.
it could have been change for your coupon dinner.
Let's circle back to Cheapskate Captain. Man, he got us locked out. There was one hotel that's really nice to us all. Most of us as a group of pilots are like, they have those social hours at the hotel where they give out like beer and snacks.
Oh, I love those hours.
But we missed them a lot flying cargo because we're getting in
Almost. Yeah, you're not the only ones.
right. So like 6 a.m., there's no option. Then you sleep past the next one. Anyway, we had a really good relationship with this one hotel, and they would just see how rough we looked when we came in after a night of flying. It was 6 a.m. or something. And they would go back to the lounge, whatever you want to call it, like the kitchen where the happy hour stuff was, and they'd get us a beer or two.
Oh.
They'd be like,
at 6 a.m.?
Yeah, or like, just do 6 a.m. for us was like 6 p.m. for somebody else, or if it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Sure.
You're finishing up your workday, and it'd be nice to just sit down and crack a cold one. So they go do that stuff. Well, then he went out and hoarded snacks and hoarded drinks, and then all of us got cut off because of Captain Cheapskate.
That happens.
It's sad. It's too bad.
That happens. Yeah.
No, I had one guy. This was like a safety issue at one point. He would build model airplanes and cruise.
Oh.
And the safety issue was the smell of that super glue.
Oh yeah, that's gotta be toxic stuff,
fumes.
Right?
Oh,
yeah, you
gross.
had a fume event.
Yeah, it was in a small confined area, but it was cool. Like he'd break out his little box with his like balsa wood and start putting Wingstar
fume event.
Yeah, right on the flight deck. But he'd like break out the balsa wood and start putting the pieces of the plane together, and it was a cute little hobby. But boy, like before you break out super glue in a confined space, like maybe ask the other person if that's okay.
Maybe.
Like having tuna fish for lunch, same thing.
Exactly like. So you didn't choke on the balsa wood though.
Oh boy, how do you keep that stuff from breaking? That's delicate. You just like stick it in your suitcase and go.
Yeah, because once it's built, what does he do?
I think he so my understanding was there were no full airplanes. It was just pieces like a wing or a tail piece. And then they would go back into that cardboard box under the backpack. So
I see.
It was somewhat protected. Maybe it's some tissue paper in there or something to keep it from flopping around. But he did build.
Weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone has little weird cruise flight things, right? Like,
oh my God,
what do? You don't have anything to do, right?
I lecture my FO on proper etiquette and behavior in flight.
The FO.
My FO.
You don't know. You don't. They're not your property. We've been through this before.
No, you know what the problem with these people is? They don't spend time on themselves. They need to meditate.
Oh.
I had a guy.
Well, working.
Well, no, I would say not while working, but we talked about it while working. He told me that he had wanted to learn to meditate, didn't know how to do it, and so he went online and researched it, and he found a meditation guru, and he followed this guy's steps. And what happened was he left his body, went out into outer space, was kind of just, like floating out in the distance. And he met someone out there, a being, um, who he communed with somehow
That no, this
telepathically.
is an actual professional pilot telling you
I'm telling
this.
yeah, and this is, yeah. And they were communing, telepathically, sharing, how are you? My name is so and so, and where are you from? And he said, this alien being said, where are you from? And he turned, you could see the earth in the distance, and he was able to like zoom in on it, like pinching on your iPad screen. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm from there. I'm from there. He said, oh, that's okay. Great. And he said, lasted about 20 minutes or so, and it was a very moving experience. And that he did it a second time, and when I met the same being again, and just kind of had the same, and I was just awestruck by this experience, thinking to myself how I'm so excited to try this, because
how are mushrooms not involved in that?
maybe, well, I won't eat mushrooms. I'm opposed to them on the basis of taste, touch, and concept, but uh, this guy said to me, "You can't do it." What do you mean I can't do it? This is the greatest. This is the greatest experience that anyone in the history of life has ever had, and you're telling me how this works, and that I'm going to go out and I'm going to meet another being from another. He's like, you cannot do it. How am I going to not try this? As soon as we get to the hotel, I'm going to look up your guru, and I'm going to figure out. No, you can't do it. I figured it out. It wasn't an alien. It was a demon,
Oh
and
no,
he was coming to claim my soul.
this is a human being that you were working a flight with,
Yep,
a professional
sure
pilot.
was. In fact,
They're out there, folks. They're everywhere.
listen, I'm only the fourth person in his life that he has shared this experience with.
He must really
That
like you.
that is how close we got on our one day together. Yeah.
I don't believe
So
that. It's one or
the
the
truth
other. A lot of
is,
people know about it, or
well, they do know about it because I tell everybody. You wouldn't
oh
believe what
boy.
this guy said to me. And I looked up this guru, and it's all about it, man. Should I tell you? Should I tell the name? Stephen Greer. Look up Stephen Greer,
Okay.
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. You can
Oh,
go out and you can meet your own outer space demon. Um, I still haven't tried it, but one
sounds
of
like
these
a
days
hypnotist.
I'm going to do it when I'm in a hotel far, far from home, so that when I zoom in on the earth and I show the demon where I am, it ain't my house.
Yeah, yeah, do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
It's we share the flight deck with so many people of all different like walks of life. I
isn't it
mean,
amazing?
you fly with like farm boys, right? And then you fly with
Yeah.
like rich kids,
Yes. Oh, I
or
can't stand the rich kids.
back when I was at Misaba, uh, 2008. I think the salary was 24,000 a year, roughly,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
That
you
sounds
could
right.
literally make just as much working fast food without all the training and professional degree and all these other things.
And
And
airport security and
yep.
parking, and yeah.
And there was this one kid who walked in, maybe a year or two older than me, opened up his MacBook, and he had his earbuds and his new phone and a fancy Swiss gear backpack. And I saw him in the employee lot driving out in a Lexus right now. There's no
Oh no.
possible way that, like a new Lexus, that
Jeez.
this person pays his own bill. It's just not possible on that. I mean, unless you inherited a bunch, and I don't know everybody's backstory, right? But
Sure.
then I knew it had to have been Dad's Amex, because we were talking in the crew room one day, and he was so full of himself. I can't believe you're not using your travel benefits from the company to explore places like Europe and Asia.
He
I said,
said that to you?
yes,
Uh-huh.
because we were discussing like our days off or something, and he was going to Paris,
Yeah.
and I was going home to work at another
For your
job.
2 days off.
Yeah, so I could do another job so I can keep my cell phone bill paid.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you're traveling to Europe and Asia on $24,000 a year while working
Absolutely,
this
he is.
job. There's no way, right? There's no way. I didn't ask. I didn't get
No,
into it. I just
no.
gotta walk. You gotta let that go. Oh boy.
And in the regional days, you didn't have time to do all that stuff either. We were
Well,
lucky to get 2 days off in between.
yeah. It was. What do you jump seat in, sleep on the way, and then anyway, it was jet setting.
And
But yeah,
it's
we do see
happened.
we see all the walks of life. We see like you said, like the Bible thumpers, the good people. There's those like really nasty people.
I had a Nazi once.
Yo.
Well, his father was a Nazi.
And he was okay to talk about it and like with you.
Oh, he
Well,
loved it. He couldn't wait to share all kinds of information about it. He
that's
was the
wild.
weirdest dude. Oh,
Really?
and he was terrible. He was one of the guys that turned. So pilots have to retire at the age of 65 per the federal government.
Yep.
Used to be 60. They
Okay.
raised the age. And he was one of these guys that got to stay a little extra because they raised the age. He is also the reason that they should turn it back to 60. Oh, he was a terrible pilot.
It actually makes a lot of sense. The age. I'm trying to do mental math here on the age plus to have a father that was an actual Nazi.
Yeah. But also he told me, he would tell me a lot of mixed stories. Like his father was a Nazi, but also he worked for the CIA procuring wild exotic animals in South America for the CIA. I used to take notes when I would fly with this guy because he would say the dumbest, most ridiculous things that I needed to keep a record of.
But you believe he was, yeah. You believe that his dad was really a Nazi, or is this one of the ridiculous? Maybe he was a pathological liar.
Well, I believed he was a Nazi, whether he was practicing or not.
Practicing.
You know.
Practicing. I'm not a practicing Nazi. I'm just. But,
well,
it's my biological Nazi. I'm not actually practicing. I just was born into it. Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Wild.
Yeah, you're right, man. Everybody loves to fly, though. It doesn't matter where you come from, does it?
Yeah, but you know what? I don't want to end on a dark note with Nazi.
If you're gonna be divorced from your wife, you might as well be married to your job. Do you know anybody like that?
Oh, I do. I swear this guy would miss like his child's birthday or his kid's wedding to work a day for the company. The company. I'll tell you what. I think in this 2025 era, in the last few years, the labor has shifted to not giving a shit. You need to be there for your family first.
You're swearing you're gonna turn my mother-in-law off.
Oh shit, she'll understand. The new generation of employee will be there at their kid's birthday party.
Yes,
we're gonna be there.
I think you're right.
Sick day, vacation day. Sorry, my kid's not missing out on me for that one flight. You have other people; they can do the flight.
It's just a job, man. Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Gosh.
This guy I'm thinking of, if I can remember correctly, he would work every possible day he could, and that's fine if that's your prerogative. And hey, maybe you need the money, but don't go brag about it. He'd walk around like wearing it as a badge of honor. How many days off he worked on, and that's not a badge of honor anymore.
No. It's like these guys that run around bragging about how many hours they credit every month. I had one the other day. He was telling me how he was using it to pick up women. I showed her my August flight, my August paycheck with 170 hours of credit. I said, you're walking around with your paycheck to show to women?
Yep.
Oh, what a sad life.
That's going to attract some quality partners.
Yeah, there's no days off in that month, right? No, yeah. She's really going to love you for you.
Oh man, yeah. The worst part too is like, you're not supposed to walk around talking about money, and you do it anyway. That is 100% common knowledge.
Yeah,
that's just too bad. Well, it'll come around. They'll get what they have coming to them. Get taken for half what they own.
only if they don't invest in gift cards.